Hello, everyone, and welcome back to another episode of Popcorn and Coffee Table Talk. We're here to discuss the final episode of Moon Knight, episode 6. I don't remember what it was called.
Gods and Monsters.
Gods and Monsters. That's what it was. Yes. You look like a reverse raccoon. How are you today,
I
co-host?
know I'm a little sunburnt. I just realized that it's the first time I think I've looked at my face all day. So
Summer is upon us, finally.
yes.
It is summer, right? Is it technically summer yet?
No, it's not even summer yet. Summer isn't until like end of May or June.
Summer's here. It's here.
It's
Spring.
It's
Beautiful spring weather. But let's just roll right into it. Let's get our final thoughts on not only the final episode, but this show as a whole. What did you think about this last episode?
Fantastic. Great reader. I loved it. As a whole series and as slow going as it felt like it was dragging, this last episode really, I felt, culminated well.
You think so?
Yeah, I do. I enjoyed it. The whole time I'm just like, okay, this is good. I'm into it.
I also enjoyed it. I thought it was a nice wrap up to what I would consider a great show, honestly. I thought it tied up most things nicely. There were a few elements that I was a little bit sad on, but as a whole, I thought it wrapped up the season nicely. So in this episode, we had Mark still dealing with, he's in his Gladiator Field of Dreams wheat field, and then very quickly decided, I don't want to stay here. He wanted to go get Steven,
Right.
and then try to get out, I guess. So beginning of the episode, he goes and gets Steven, gives him his heart back and brings him back to life out of the desert. And then they go through the door back into the real world where his body comes back to life. And and in the course of the episode, he reaccepts the invitation from Kanju to come back to life. And there's conditions attached to it. They don't want to be his hand anymore. So they're going to do this one last thing to stop Harrow, and then that's it. Then they're done. And Kanju agrees to it, which I thought was an incredible scene of him coming back to life and then leaning forward and like literally the bullets just popping out of his chest.
Yeah.
And donning the cape and cowl one more time. What did you think of that element of that last episode?
Of the what?
Just his piece of the final episode.
Yeah, I think it really showed some character arc and stuff within Mark of like coming, like showing some caring side to him and him like coming full circle from being hard and stuff.
Yeah, definitely.
Which I really enjoyed. And then
go ahead.
Even with Steven and stuff, you've seen arc and that he was willing to do more stuff.
Yeah, he was definitely, you could see the blend of the two of them together. Mark accepted pieces of Steven into him, and then Steven definitely accepted pieces of Mark. And because when they started kicking butt, Steven was kicking some serious butt.
Yeah.
In his Moon Knight, Mr. Knight suit.
And then him able to like just switch back and forth.
I know.
With one another when need be was really cool.
The only thing I didn't like, and it was a little unfortunate, and it's a product of the 6-episode series, which is fine. I don't think I want to see them stretch it out to 8 or 13 episodes. 6 is a really good number. The ending felt a little bit rushed. Especially, we spent a lot of time focused on the fact that Steven died in the last episode. And then Mark literally went back to him and brought him back to life within seconds. Like it was within the first 5 minutes of the show, Steven's back like that. It kind of takes away from the last episode if you were to watch them back to back, I bet.
Yeah.
I really wish the finale could have been 2 episodes, and they could have drugged some of these elements out, made the fight sequences a little bit more extended, and really given light to a few of these elements. But I mean, it's a product of what it is. So it did what it could with its limited time. But some of that was like, oh, well, you just corrected something very quickly that took 40 minutes in the last episode to take place. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So there was that.
Even if they could have added like another 20 minutes to the episode,
which I know
a lot of shows do.
I know.
They'll like 45-minute shows will add an extra 20 to 30 minutes to their finale to tell more and wrap things up better.
This episode was the shortest episode of all of them.
Yeah,
It had the shortest runtime of all the episodes. So
that's
I
crazy.
don't understand that decision, but I don't think it took away from the show by any means too much.
Yeah.
It was just, for me, it was just like, oh, okay. And you had to
Yeah.
get over it really quickly. But yeah, all the other stuff that had to do with Mark and Steven's characters, I love. Okay, the only other thing that I was like, okay, it's a little on the nose, was when Mark told Steven, "You're my superpower." It's just like, okay, I get what you're going for. Like, yes, you are better, I guess, for having both sides, and you can like switch back and forth. I get what you're saying, but at the same time, your actual superhero that you can turn into, he's kind of bulletproof. So I would say
Right.
he's your better. He's better. I get you like Steven now, but that guy can fly. You know, you can't do those things. That's your superhero. But
yeah. What'd you think of Layla getting her?
So Layla is being guided by Timoret. Timoret, the hippo goddess woman.
Yeah.
She's kind of guiding her through dead bodies, which I thought was like crazy. Every time she passed a dead body, Timoret would just manifest in that body and start talking to her. I'm like, this is insane.
Yeah.
But then started talking to her and wanted her to become her
totem.
What do you call that?
Totem.
No, the other one. It could become her avatar.
Oh, yeah.
Become her avatar for her. Well, Kanju tried to talk her into being his avatar first.
Yeah.
And she's like, I don't want any part of that.
Yeah.
You jacked Mark up. I don't want any part of what you got going on.
Yeah.
But she quickly accepted Timoret's offer. And that was a good scene of her like playing both characters. That was it was kind of played for laughs, kind of silly, because the hippo character is a silly character anyway. But I thought it worked well. And then her superhero costume was
really
awesome.
Cool. Yeah.
Was awesome. Like, it was very Falcon-esque.
Yeah. Yeah. That's what I was thinking. Yeah.
So cool. No, I liked it. I bet she doesn't stay that character.
Right. Yeah.
But if we were to see her again and her show up and be able to fly and do this, I'm all about it. She was cool.
Yeah.
There were elements of like, is she a better Wonder Woman? At least Wonder Woman 1984? Is she a better Wonder Woman 1984? I would argue yes. Even her Egyptian soundtrack was very Wonder Woman-esque, but
yeah.
I like that she wasn't bulletproof. So whenever somebody was shooting at her, she had to use the wings to like cover herself as a shield. I thought she was cool. What do you think?
Yeah. Yeah. No, I loved it. Loved the character. I mean, I've been a fan of her, Layla, the entire series anyways. And that actress, May Calame, just phenomenal throughout the whole series.
I know. They did. That's what I appreciate about those early episodes that really did the legwork of laying the groundwork for who these people are so we can get so invested in them.
Yeah.
Even Harrow's character for the most part, you know?
Yeah.
Granted, he'd be running super fast with glass in his shoes.
That's what psychopaths do.
The CGI was incredible.
Yeah.
I mean, it's hard to make a talking crocodile look convincing.
Yeah.
And that worked.
Yeah. Which I love. I also love the fight scene between Kanju and
Amet.
Yeah.
Yeah, no, it was cool. It was really cool to see like them in the background fighting, and then you had Steven and Mark and Harrow on the ground fighting. It was a really cool parallel.
Yeah.
There's only one element that I didn't like, and this is the only thing that's like the overarching show I didn't like, because I don't think it paid itself off very well. Mark is a mercenary. He's known for killing people. He doesn't like to kill people, and the only people he's ever killed are bad people. He made a point to stress that out.
Yeah.
Layla, she's been murking people this whole show, shooting people. She's killing people this whole show. She stabbed the guy in this episode. I don't like how it got to the end. They got Amet's spiritual body inside of Harrow's body, and the point was to get his body inside of him and then kill Harrow, so that way it ended there.
Yeah.
But when it came time to killing the true bad guy, they're all like, "No, we can't." Like they've learned. I was like, "You've been killing people this entire episode."
Right. Yeah.
You have. all of you, all three of you, Mark, Steven, Layla, all of you,
Right.
just do it. Just end him. So that didn't pay off very well for me.
Yeah. I wonder if part of it, the reason they didn't want to was just because Khonshu wanted them to. It was more like a defiance against him and what he wanted.
When you put it that way, I guess I didn't think about it like that. That makes sense. I understand that. Now that you literally said it, and I was like, okay, I get that. But I really would have hoped that they could have laid some other Easter eggs earlier in the show to be like, I don't like that I have to do this. I don't want to do this. I never felt regret really. Mark had regret because he wanted to stop. But
Right.
they all were like, okay, it has to be done, so we're going to do it the whole show. So there wasn't any elements of what I was looking at. But when you put it that way, that makes sense. And they're like, no, you do it. I just don't want to do it.
Yeah.
Khonshu doesn't want to get his hands dirty, though.
No.
I don't know. Is it he doesn't want to or he can't? Can he literally kill people? Or does he need physical human beings to kill for him?
Well, that's the thing of why they all had the avatars.
They all had avatars. Like if he could do it himself, if he could go take vengeance on the people of the earth, you think he'd just do it and he wouldn't need an avatar. So it kind of makes sense to me. Like maybe he can't do it himself.
Yeah, that could be.
Either way, the point was to get to the end credit scene anyway. They needed Harrow to live to get to the end credit scene. So that's fine. But and then the world goes back to normal.
That end credit scene was great. And just throughout the whole episode too, before we get to the end here, when they started adding the third personality into him was so cool. Because the first time I heard it, I was like, oh wait, there's another one coming out. Like we got another character here. And yeah, just so cool.
Well, yeah, he kept blacking out, and then they'd both be like, was that you? Was that you? No. And apparently this other guy is way more intense than even Mark. And I thought Mark was intense because even in this final episode, he blacks out. And then when he comes back to, cars are on fire and everyone's just staring like, what just happened? And Harrow is just incapacitated.
Yeah.
Which is an easy way for them to just like speed to the end really quickly and not have to explain a lot. But obviously it's this other guy who's just insane.
Yeah.
What'd you think of that end credit scene?
It was great. When he's in that, is he in the hospital? Is that where he's at?
Or he's in like an asylum, and they wheel him out.
Yeah. And well, you heard the voice because it's the same guy, and he's got like that. Is it like a Boston accent or?
It's definitely different. I don't know what it was.
Was it Irish? I couldn't tell if it was like Irish or Boston, which I guess they're kind of pretty. They can be pretty close.
Yeah.
Depending on where you're from, which area, but.
Obviously, Jake Lockley is some other maniac personality. Yeah, he's just awesome. What do you think about the fact that Oscar Isaac hasn't signed on to do anything else? So, like, for all intents and purposes, the character Moon Knight could be done as of right now.
Yeah.
Do you think that was a successful season of being like, okay, I got everything I needed, and if it never came back, I'm content with that.
Yeah, I think if they didn't do a second season, I would be content. I would be a little disappointed that they did one season because you're introducing a character, you're spending all this time and money, and we're spending our time watching it. You almost have to introduce him into into a movie in some way, I think. How you want to do that, I don't know, but I don't need a second season of Moon Knight. That doesn't have to happen. I won't be disappointed if we don't get. I will be disappointed if we don't get Moon Knight in a Marvel movie, in an MCU movie. Just for the fact that you did introduce him, and I spent time watching him and getting to know this character. And
not to mention, like, because I'm in the same boat. If it ended there, I still want to go back and kind of binge the show. Essentially, I'd like to watch it where I can watch it like 3 of them back to back and then 3 of them back to back as much as I can in one night, because I'd like to see how that story plays out in a much quicker pace than a week to week. But character wise, Mark and Steven are really cool. The
Mhm.
dynamics between the two of them, the world that they've established is really, really cool. Moon Knight as a superhero is incredibly cool. His costume's cool. The way it forms around his body is cool. The abilities that he had. I would be really sad if I never got to see this again. And I think Disney may have been testing the water. Marvel may have been testing the water. Is this going to be a well-received character? If it is,
Right.
maybe we revisit it. If it isn't, maybe we shelf it and don't do anything again. So I think the reception that they've gotten has been really, really positive. So now they're already back in talks with Oscar Isaac, being like, "Hey, what do you want to do next? Do we want to go
Yeah.
move? We want," because I think you have to. I don't think everyone likes it that it's like Charlie Cox's Daredevil.
Yeah.
Once those shows got canceled, everyone's like, "No, we love this character. You can't not." So I think if they were
Right.
ever going to recast, the backlash would be huge because everyone
Mhm.
loved Charlie Cox as Daredevil. So they
Yeah.
had no choice but to bring him in. They're like, "Okay, we're going to use you now." So I think it's going to be the same kind of thing with Oscar Isaac.
Yeah. And I don't think Marvel. So just because Oscar Isaac didn't sign on to do a second season, or that we know of signed on to do any movies, that doesn't mean I don't think Marvel's going to go into this without a plan. I'm sure they've
You
already
would
got
think,
stuff
yeah.
in the works. And Kevin Feige, I mean, we've trusted them now for the last 10 years, from basically my mid-teens through now, on everything he's been doing. So
It's been 2008 for us,
yeah. So not even, yeah, I was
our entire adult lives.
16 in 08. So yeah.
Yeah. So I'm immensely happy with the show. It'll be one that I revisit for sure. Episode 3 is one of the best serialized television episodes of anything I think I've ever seen. I think it is a remarkable episode. I think episode 3 was the one in the asylum, right? Episode 4, maybe it's episode 4.
I think episode 4 is when
I think it's episode 4 where he goes back and he's looking over his memories and his history. That's one of the most well acted, it's just incredible. It was incredible to watch. And if Oscar Isaac didn't work in this show didn't work.
Mm-hmm.
And luckily he showed up. He came to play and he did what he was paid to do well.
Yeah. Yeah, for sure.
So anything else to say about Moon Knight?
Nope, that's all I got.
Yeah, I can't think of anything else either. So we'll probably come back and do the Obi-Wan Kenobi series here at the end of May.
Yeah. We'll take
a little bit of a break from this for a couple weeks.
Yeah.
Wednesday nights. And but I'm excited to get into that too.
Yeah.
So up next, our next episode, I think for YouTube and the pod, we got Doctor Strange coming up next.
Yep.
Down the pipe. So what do you want to go ahead and park the car?
Yeah, sure. If you like what you hear, you can hit the like button and subscribe to our YouTube channel here, and let us know what you think. Your comments on Moon Knight, give us your input. If you want to check out our podcast, head over to Popcorn and Coffee at Apple Podcasts, Google Podcasts, and Spotify, and you can leave us a review and listen to some of our little more lengthy episodes there on different films that we've been reviewing. I think our latest one was The Night House and Death on the Nile were our last 2 episodes. So go and check those out, and please leave us a review and let us know what you think.
Thanks, guys. Next time.
Bye.